It's not been the best couple of games this week for Rovers, but we got the chance to head into the international break on a bang as Rovers head down to London to take on QPR. We'll talk about that match and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match preview. This time we're taking a look at Blackburn Rovers' trip down to QPR, boys and girls, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, world football related, all here under Warowski, boys and girls. That's right. So let's get gan. It does take place right here at AKA. What's it called these days? It was called Loftus Road, but it's now called something else. It's the Kitty, whatchamacallit. It's called the Kylian Prince Foundation Stadium. It's a bit of a mouthful, but respectful. I think it's named in the honour of a young supporter who passed away. So credit to QPR for doing such an honourable thing. But it is still a familiar ground that we all love. And it's been in the Premier League back in the day, but today it's in the Championship up against Rovers this weekend, October the 5th. Mark Warburton's done an okay job so far, steadying the ship. We're kind of turning the ship around a little, but they exploded onto the scene at the start of the season. It's kind of a little bit of a carbon copy of their performance last season. They were up and down, up and down. Right now, they start to sway a little bit towards the mid-top echelons a little bit. But ultimately, I think their dreams are still top 10 and beyond. Last season, they did finish 19th in the table, and their danger man for me this week will be Nahki Wells. Well, to be honest with you could pick a whole host of them. There's 2 or 3 guys who have exploded onto the scene already, scoring goals, creating chances, and being an absolute standout. But for me, Nahki Wells gets it. The record against Rovers looks like this. We've played each other 48 times in all competitions. QPR have won 12 of them. Rovers have won 22. There's been 14 draws along the way. Last season, it was all Rovers. We squeaked past them with a 1-0 win. It was a last-minute.com in what was a dire game at Ewood Park. But then it was a 2-1 victory for us when we came down to this neck of the woods last season. Obviously, we'll duke it out this Saturday, and we'll do it all again in the 25th of January 2020. So let's take a look at the starting lineup, or the expected starting lineups, or who I would like to see starting lineups, should I say. But before that, quick look at the injuries and suspensions for both teams. QPR do have one suspension. Johan Barbe's got he's still dealing with the effects of a red card, so he will be out. Charlie Owens and Olamabi Shedabappo are also out for the current future. As for Rovers, no suspensions, but Daniel Butterworth and Brent Brereton are out at the moment. So these are the probably expected lineups for me. Let's take a look at the hosts first and foremost. Lumley in the middle of the park here. Manning on the left. Cameron I put in at centre-back. Leisner, Hall and Kane at right-back. Chair on the left. Eze down the right-hand side of a 3-man mid. Ball in the middle. Wells and Heigl up top. Goal-scoring machines. I think they've got 11 already, give or take, between them. As for Rovers, yeah, well, I've gone with this one, but it could be a little bit different than this, because it'll be 3 games in 10 days, something like that. But the back 4 should be as is, as expected. Walton, Cunningham, Williams, Lennon, and Bennett. Travis and Downing I've put down in those holding midfield slots. I think Downing's too good to drop at the moment. And then up top, the quartet. We could see Dak rested. You never know. But I'm going to go with Dak, Armstrong, Rothwell, and Graham up top. Holtby should be in there. You know, I don't know. I'm thinking about pulling Armstrong. Maybe it should be Holtby, Dak, and Rothwell. Graham up top, something like that. I don't know. It's at that this area will be a bit of a surprise. In fact, I think these 3 positions plus this position, I think 5 spots are up for grabs this Saturday. We'll see. Going to go to the stats now. As I said, Nahki Wells tops us charts with 6 goals this season. So is Jordan Hale's hot on his heels with 5. Eze's got 3 and Hall has 1 as well. Into the discipline, Cameron has 3 yellows. So is Heigl, Barbe and Oshadi Shamuel also have 3 yellows as well. Barbe has a red card to his name. As for Rovers, Dak tops the goal scoring charts with 4. Williams has got 2. Armstrong's got 2. Downing has 1. As for the yellows, Bennett, Cunningham, Lenihan all have 4 yellows. Travis has 3 so far. Let's take a look at the last 5 results for both sides. QPR come into this on the back of 2 defeats. So 3 wins out of the past 5 for them, but they do come into this. They did lose to Cardiff hot off the press. That was last night. They also lost to West Brom at home on the weekend as well. But before that, 21st of September, they did beat Millwall 2-1. They also beat Luton, something we failed to do on the 14th of September. And all the way back on the 31st of August, they did beat Sheffield Wednesday. It shows the calibre of what they got. So we should not underestimate them at all this weekend. We come into this on the back of a draw against Forest. That was on Tuesday. Before that, we did stumble to a loss to Luton at home, 2-1 final score. Back on the 21st of September, we did beat Reading, and we also beat Millwall 2-0 back on the 14th of September. All the way back 31st of August, we did lose to West Brom. So, we've played we've played 4 of the same teams so far. So let's take a look at the next 5 fixtures for both of the sides here. QPR will take on Rovers, obviously, this weekend. Then they take on Hull City, the first game back after the international break. That's on the 19th of October. Into the midweek action, they'll take on Reading at the Kiri something stadium. That's on the 22nd of October. They also host Brentford on the 28th of October, and they'll wrap up their 5 games up against Leeds at Ellen Road. Rovers on the flip side, obviously QPR this weekend. Then we take on Huddersfield, first game back on the international break. Then it's Birmingham down at St Andrews. Then it's Preston North End, bit of a crunch crash that one, and then we'll end it 2nd of November up against Sheffield Wednesday at Ewood Park. So that's the next 5 games. Let's take a look at the last 5 home games for QPR and the last 5 away games for Rovers. It does include a couple of friendlies in there, but eventually we're getting to that point where these actually do count the long haul. So QPR coming to this 2 wins out of 5 in the league at home. Let's scrap that. 2 wins out of 5 in the domestic competitions so far. They did lose to Swansea, they did lose to Pompey, and they did lose to West Brom. They did beat Luton and Wigan so far in the league. As for Rovers, we come into this 3 defeats on the road so far in domestic competitions. That includes losing to Sheffield United in the League Cup. We also lost to West Brom and Fulham. We did beat Hull at their place and Reading at the Majeski as well. So yeah, obviously those top 2 are friendlies. Let's take a look at the last few games between these 2 sides in all competitions. So the recent record is very, very much in favour of Rovers. The last 6 games going all the way back to 2016, all competitions and all venues. Looks like this. 4 wins to Rovers, 2 draws along the way. Rovers actually come into this on 4 games on a spin. 4 winning trips down to QPR, win on a winning run. Get my words out. Last time that was a 2-1 victory for Rovers, but that was a lastminute.com goal by Matt Smith to make it a little bit interesting. Prior to that, at Ewood Park, it was a 1-0 win. Bradley Dack with the penalty. That's a surprise. I thought it would have been a Charlie Mulgrew-esque penalty. It was not the greatest game. Prior to that, Sam Gallagher did score for Rovers up against QPR, so maybe he could do a daily double and get back on it. But the last time actually QPR took a point off of Rovers was back in 2016 with a 1-1 draw. Now the last 6 encounters between the 2 sides down QPR way, it's still not much better. It's 4 draws along the way, 2 wins for Rovers. There was 4 draws on the spin, going all the way back to 2011 when these 2 teams were back in the Premier League. Oh my goodness, those were the days, eh? Those were the days. Anyway, let's take a look at who scored feel the characteristics are for both sides heading into this match. So QPR are likely to create chances through balls. They also come back from losing position. So if Rovers were to get their noses in front, QPR are likely to dig deep and try and make a game of it. They also like to take a couple of wild shots from direct free kicks, and they also like to put the ball in the back of the net, which we fail to do so. As for Rangers' weaknesses, they offside often. They're not very good at aerial duels. A lot of individual errors, and they also throw in a few fouls every now and again in some dangerous areas, and actually defending against long shots. So it could be one for Downing to do. As for their style of play, they like to keep a hold of the ball, control the game in the opposition's half, take some long shots, play aggressively against people, and they seem to have a consistent 11. As for Rovers' strengths, creating chances through individual skill and defending set pieces. We're pretty good at defending set pieces. I will take a look at that sort of analogy in just a second. And our weaknesses are scoring chances and avoiding offside. Not much data to compare. Like, there's a lot going on for QPR, not much going on for Rovers. Our style of players, we like to cross the ball very, very much. So here's something new I've added to the previews, boys and girls. It's a positional sort of thing, just to take an overview of where teams like to prefer to create their attacking chances. So take a look at QPR here on the left-hand side. They seem to create a lot of their chances, the majority of their chances down the right-hand side. 40% of all their attacking efforts coming down the right, whereas only 36% of their efforts are coming down the left. Whereas going down the middle is not their preferred option. It's the same deal pretty much for Rovers, but we are a little bit more favourable on the right-hand side as well, going 38% for Rovers, 27% down the middle, and 35% down the left. As for the action zones, obviously the middle third is where it's all at, both home and away. QPR typically play their majority of their football in the middle of the park. As for Rovers, same applies. However, it's not that much difference compared to being in the opposition third, so it's not as bad. We like to, I guess, we like to get the ball forward as much as possible and quick as possible. But basically, we don't create enough chances and we don't score enough goals. And speaking of goals, this is how the goals have been scored for both QPR and Rovers heading into this game. This is overall here. So QPR, they've scored according to this, 14 goals. Both of them have come through open play and 2 of them from set pieces. As for Rovers, we've also scored 9, 10, 11 goals, so they've scored a couple more goals than we have. 7 of them from open play, 2 from set pieces, 1 a penalty and 1 a big fat OG. So set pieces are both, similar sort of an avenue for goals, but we just got to be aware of QPR because they've got so many deadly players up top. Moving on to goals conceded. This is also a big statistic, as you can see. 8, 16, 17 goals conceded by QPR. We've just conceded the 11, so they have conceded a lot more, but they've scored more. 8 of their goals have been conceded from open play. 5 of them have been from a set piece. That's a huge sort of statistic, and they've also conceded 3 penalties so far. One's through a counter-attack. As for Rovers, we've conceded through open play and 3 from set pieces as well. So definitely an option to look out for this weekend is any dangerous set pieces. But realistically, do we have the man to take it? We don't have the Mulgrew anymore. We've got to rely on the Downings and the Dakaroonies, and their free kicks have not been the greatest so far. Moving forward, take a look at what else is going on this weekend in the Championship. Birmingham against Middlesbrough kicks us off on Friday. Fulham against Charlton, the early game on Saturday. And the rest of the 3 o'clock games all taking place on Saturday. So we have a slam-packed schedule on Saturday. Forest against Brentford, West Brom against Cardiff, Preston against Barnsley, Swansea against Stoke, Sheffield Wednesday against Wigan, Bristol City against Reading, Millwall against Leeds, Huddersfield against Hull City, the battle of the H's, and Derby against Luton. But the big game of the weekend is right here, down at QPR, up against Rovers, boys and girls. So this is the current state of flux out in the table. Swansea top the pops. Leeds are in second, so these two will be going up automatically. Then at the minute, it's West Brom, Forest, Fulham, and Preston occupy the playoffs. So far. As for the bottom, Stoke, Huddersfield and Barnsley still going down. Huddersfield picking up their massive victory last time out. As for the 2 teams, QPR come into this in 11th spot. We're hot on the heels with 12th. A win for Rovers could potentially shoot us up as high as 7th, but that's probably not going to happen. A win for QPR could see them go as high as 3rd. And again, I'm not saying that the wins are not going to happen. I'm just saying that they've got to basically have a lot of luck up the table for results to go the way for them to go that high. Take a look at the hot top goal scorers at the moment, and there are a couple of big names in there for QPR. The leading man at the minute is Alexander Mitrovic with 7 goals so far. Watkins is hot on his heels though with 7 as well. Baston's got 6. Fletcher's got 5. So has Collins, Taylor, Grant, Kearney's got 5 as well. Naki Wells and Jordan Heigl have 5 in the league. Obviously well scored in the cup as well. The key assist man, Swift and Williams both have 4 assists. Ayew, Johnson and Flint have 3 assists so far. That's the overall tally. As for the ones scoring the goals at homes, Baston tops the charts with 5. Johnson's got 4. Djukowicz, Mitrovic, Wells, Phillips, Watkins and Bowen have 3. Waghorn has 2. McNair has 2 for the home side. As for goal scorers away, the main man is Patrick Bamford, Mitrovic, Graben and Watkins scoring 4 goals away from home. Fletcher, Collins, Taylor, Grant, Kearney and Heigl I've got 3 girls on the road. Let's take a look at the form books heading into this. This is the home form at the minute. It's pretty much as well. No, it's not. It's nothing to get excited about. 16th place. QPR come into this with a home form. They do come into this 3 wins out of the past 5 games. 2 wins out of the past 5 games at home. Rovers' home form is just 2 defeats out of the past 5, but they're not at home, so realistically we're looking at the QPR's home form. We're looking at it on this slide here, we're looking at the away form. QPR come into this in 7th, Rovers come into this in 11th. Out of our 4 home games, we've won 2 and lost 2. QPR's away form is pretty good. 3 wins and 2 defeats so far, boys and girls. So yes, it's going to be a tough old game and we need a bit of bounce back ability. We're heading into the international break and I guess Last time we headed into the national break, it was West Brom. We went into that on the back of a defeat, which was not great. And it would just be a big old boost around Ewood Park if we were to get a result there and then hopefully come back. Shit's still going wrong at Huddersfield and we can kick on further in front of the cameras in the middle of October. So what do you expect this weekend? Do you expect us to take home all 3 points? Do you think it'll be a bit of a struggle? Or do you think QPR will go out and dominate? Give me your thoughts and predictions in the comment section down below. Tell me what you think will happen this week. And speaking of, well, I'm not really speaking of anything, but anyway, just to let you know about some stuff going on. Today, hot off the press, a little bit later on, we'll have the live championship predictions on the YouTube channel. Just, if you want to know when around, just check the channel out, or smash a subscribe and the bell. You know when I go live, boys and girls. The next Premier League and the Champions League predictions will be a little bit from now. The recent Premier League predictions took place on Tuesday. They're going to be held mostly on Tuesdays anyway, so the next one will be after the international break, unless you want to check out the previous. Same applies for the Champions League, but those games are done and dusted now, so it doesn't really matter. Moving forward, just to let you know, hang on a minute, get back to it. But just so you know that I am currently running a FIFA career mode with Sunderland. The making of a champion is on the channel. Daily adventures for that bad boy. I think we're up to episode 10, 11, something like that. So make sure you check that out. Smash subscribe if you want to know about that. And also let you know that Friday, I'll be doing my latest late night FIFA. It's a bit of this, there's a bit of that. Last time we did Ultimate Team, which was absolutely dog shit. Prior to that, we did a bit of career mode with Rovers. So just come on by, stop by, say hello. It'll be Friday night, late. Or it might not be that late, actually. It might be middle of the day because I've got a lot to do. And speaking of Twitch, come Saturday, we'll be watching the game, QPR Rovers, right here on Twitch. Come check my instant reaction, see how we get on. Obviously, last time out we did a midweek one with Rovers against Forest, which was pretty good turnout as well. But make sure you come, stop by, say hello for some instant reaction. Bring you up to date with all kinds of games going around, updates, score updates, what the table looks like, all that kind of drama in a graphical form behind my noggin behind here. And that's pretty much it, folks. There will be no fan input this week. It's just been too busy. Obviously, double match week this week, Champions League, all kinds of shit going on. So there's been no time to reach out to the fans. So we'll be back with that, hopefully, for the next game, which will be up against Huddersfield after the international break. So that'll be a bit of a quiet week next week. We still will switch focus a little bit to the International European 2020 qualifiers. Some predictions will come out for those bad boys shortly. So just keep your eyes up for that. But yeah, this weekend, big one. Let's end it with a bang against QPR and smash them and take home all 3 points. Until us do again, thumbs up, subscribe. I'm out of here. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.